College football is over, the NFL is winding down, and as we turn our attention to the ice and hardwood until Sunday, January 22nd, we are slashing NBA, college basketball, and NHL season passes from $4.59 all the way down to $2.99 with no coupon needed. This special price locks in your favorite handicappers in the sport of your choice through the championship for pennies on the dollar versus buying daily packages. And since the price will remain $2.99 through midnight on January 22nd, the earlier you buy, the more days you get included at no additional cost. How much are you saving? College basketball comes to just $3.55 per day through March Madness, and the NBA and NHL discounts come out to just under $60 per month to lock in your favorite handicapper through the finals or Stanley Cup. Go to your favorite handicappers page at Wager Talk and or Sports Memo and lock in your sports through the championship for only $2.99 each. If you want to combine handicappers or multiple sports, email us and we can work out an even more significant discount for you.
Hey guys, happy Friday. It is Friday the 13th. I always call Friday Freaky Friday in the NHL. Well, it's Friday the 13th. It can't get any freakier than that. We're happy to be here, though, and looking forward to finding some winners to end the week here on Puck Time. I think it was a pretty profitable week so far as the best bets are concerned, as far as lots of the plays given out on the show so far from both Carmine and I and our great guests. And we're happy to have Andy Lang here on the show. Andy was so kind to fill in for me yesterday or last week when I had no voice and was celebrating a hockey victory. Well, it was a hockey show, I had to bring it up a little bit. So I'm happy to be on the show actually with Andy. He's not just filling in now. He's on the show with me. We can chat some props together. And Carmen and I have also been doing lots of props recently. So it should be a fun show, especially with just 3 games. But Carm, how was your night last night, man? And how you feeling here on Friday the 13th?
Yeah, Andrew was. I love that. Andrew was celebrating a hockey victory. Usually, when my friends go out and drink 32 beers, they call it getting drunk. But I listen. To celebrate hockey, getting whatever. It's all good. No, I'm kidding. Freaky Friday is yesterday was friggin' Thursday, man. I always say you acknowledge your wins. You better acknowledge your losses. Yesterday, 1-3. In NHL, horrible, just because, and of all of them, Andrew, I know we were on different sides of this, but the Florida Panthers Vegas game, Florida was the better team. I'm more pissed at the way the game ended, and it has nothing to do with the goal that got challenged and was allowed, because the Florida goal in the first period was allowed when the Vegas guy pushed him into the net. It was the exact same thing. Why Paul Maurice, with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left, challenges a call that he's never going to win, and now they lose 2 minutes of the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds that they can try and tie the game up is beyond me. It was the dumbest thing. Didn't even take him long for the refs to make a decision and call it a goal. He literally wasted 2 minutes of the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that game, having to kill a penalty. A dumb call by him, and it'll be a day to celebrate, man. I'll give out T-shirts to all the guys in our chat the day they fire Paul Maurice, because I'm not a fan of his. But other than that, the Alex Tuck prop hit 5 goals, so at least the show best bet, which was also a client play, cashed. But on to the weekend. We have a lot of games on Saturday. There are 6 and 60, which is prepped, and hopefully we can find some winners in there. And speaking of winners, look at this. Look at the look on this guy's face, man. This guy is a winner every time he comes on there. Hello, Andy.
Well, now that I've had proper amount of time to get ready for the show, so I promise my best bet will actually be a hockey-related best bet, unlike last time when I completely forgot we needed a best bet and I panicked and gave out a best bet in golf, of all things, nothing to do with hockey. Yeah, they have sticks. That's about it. So, 2-0 last 2 props. We hit Heiskanen last night over shots on goal. We hit Forsberg the night before to have a point. So we have all talked about this. This is kind of the time of year when these player props are getting more and more predictable as they start to get to the playoffs. So looking forward to adding a lot more hockey profits and a lot more hockey plays to the portfolio as we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that people have to know about Andy, if you guys don't know Andy already from Wager Talk, which you should, but you do lots of different sports, Andy. You have a really big portfolio, but it doesn't mean that you're high volume in all these sports. You just do your research, you do your work in all sports, and you find a winning edge. And one thing that Andy talked about last year in the playoffs to me was that on our prop show as well, we talked about this, and it was just, hey, I'm not betting on 30 different guys. I'm finding some guys to just go ahead and say he's doing well. And Carmine and I have done the exact same thing recently, picking our spots, finding some guys that make us money, and that's really been working out. And then, of course, then when you see a guy start to cool down or you see something start to get really bad odds, you kind of fade away and look towards somebody new. But I'm looking forward to the prop bets for tonight. Look forward to breaking them down with our 3 games. We got Jets, Penguins, Devils, Ducks, and Oilers, Sharks. So it should be a good one. Carmine, you had one more point to add before we get going.
Yeah, no, listen, and Andy, I wanted to get Andy on the show because towards the end of, in the second half of the season, Andy went on an insane and to end the season, an insane prop run in the NHL, and we had to get him on the show and stuff. Andy, you need to know something right now, bro. I'm calling you bro, is right now, number one at Wager Talk in NHL props this season is, you're looking at him right here, man. I am coming behind you like WWE style with that chair over the head. I am coming after you, man. Come after me, bro. Let's go, man.
Damn.
NHL props.
Damn.
Hey,
I woke up and chose violence this morning. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. I didn't cost you a bet last night. No, this is great. I mean, we all know we all do better when all of us are doing good on props. There's no reason why all of us can't crush these props going into the playoffs and then throughout the playoffs. It's better for us. It's better for the viewers. It's better for clients. So I welcome it, man. Nothing would make me happier than to not be number one in NHL props. I would love to see somebody take my title this year.
You don't want to be number 2.
No, I don't.
Hey, Ricky Bobby once said, if you ain't first, you're last. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say with that. But I mean, it's nice that more people are doing the props. Let's get into this one here with the Winnipeg Jets and Pittsburgh Penguins, because I think there are some sneaky props in this one. Of course, we will touch on the side and total as well. Pittsburgh minus 180, Winnipeg plus 150 here in this one. Of course, Winnipeg played last night. They played Buffalo. They won that one 4-2 as minus 120 favorites. Pittsburgh, they've won 2 straight games now, guys, after losing a bunch in a row. But here's the thing, and here's the deal. Those 2 wins were against the Vancouver Canucks and the Arizona Coyotes. I've talked about it, how this year I've tried to get away from strength of schedule, weakness of schedule, and talking about a team just beating up on bad teams. But there's a big but in this scenario, and that's it, is the fact that we saw this Pittsburgh Penguins team struggle against pretty much everybody, and now they played the 2 teams that give up some of the most goals in the National Hockey League. Now you got to play a Winnipeg team that's a lot tougher, despite the fact that they are on a back-to-back. When I look at this game here, I know it's a back-to-back, and everybody wants to talk about overs and sloppiness. I think we'll see under 6.5 in this game. Despite Buffalo only getting 2 goals, we saw them create lots of chances against Winnipeg last night here, Carm. And I think we're going to see them try and fix that up a little bit. With them being on a back-to-back, I feel like we'll try and see more of a defensive, conservative effort. And Pittsburgh, I don't think they really belong in shootout style of hockey anymore. They need to play a lower scoring style as well. So getting a 6.5, I'll go under. What about you?
No, listen, we're actually going to agree for first game out of the thing here. I think one of the things is people look at when you look at a back-to-back and they're like, okay, well, Hellebuck was in goal yesterday in that win in Buffalo, and it's Riddick in goal tonight, his backup goalie. There's got to be goals. It's not the way it's been with this Winnipeg team. Riddick's goals against average is 2.75. It's a respectable average over 10 games that he's played at 6-4. And here's you look at the teams, and you talked about, and it's a very good point, the teams that Pittsburgh beat in their last couple of games. But look at the teams that play very well defensively and how they struggled against them. The Vegas Golden Knights, the Boston Bruins, the New Jersey Devils, the Carolina Hurricanes. They did score a lot of goals in those games. But the thing about Winnipeg, which I like, is they've played 6 back-to-backs. This will be their 7th. 5 of those 6 games went under the total, and easily under the total. The only game that didn't was their very first back-to-back game, where the Vegas Golden Knights scored with 22 seconds left into an empty net to win 5-2, or they'd be a perfect 6-0 to the under in the second of a back-to-back. If this was at 6, I would leave it alone. At 6.5, I like the under here. So under 6.5 for me in this one. Andy?
Yeah, props are fairly tough in this one for a couple reasons. The Penguins, a lot of them have just been completely outpriced. I mean, you look at some of these prices to have a point or shots on goal, and they're minus 230 for Malkin to have a point, and it's kind of the same when you're looking at the Winnipeg Jets, big names. These guys that have points. Josh Morrissey is minus 180. Pierre-Luc Dubois is minus 165. Yeah, Malkin is minus 235 just to have over a point. Are they going to hit? Yeah, and when I was on this show, I talked about Stamkos and how it's minus 180 to have a point, but he gets there just about every game. And if he's hitting 16 out of 17 games, then keep playing it. I don't really know what to expect from the style of this game, so I'm staying away from the points, and I keep coming back to Pierre-Luc Dubois over 2.5 shots on goal. I've been really impressed what he's done just recently in the shorter sample size. He's gone over this in 6 out of 7 games, and he has 17 shots on goal in January in only 5 games played, which is a really big increase for him. When you look at the game log for him, coming into this, he'll have 4, 3, 1, 1. But this month in his last few games, 3, 4, 5, 4. So he's really increased his output. The Penguins are 26th in shots on goal allowed. So there's a lot of potential plays, but in the end, I just think Pierre-Luc Dubois, especially at the price, when you take everything into account, is by far the best prop in this game.
Yeah, I love that play there on Dubois. Great stuff from Andy, and you can get a good number on it. And that's what's really important, is trying to avoid these high prices. But as you mentioned with those player points, we've talked about it together, Andy. Sometimes these point props, like I've parlayed 2 guys together, or we've talked about same game parlays together. If you like a big favorite to win, potentially taking one guy to get a point and the team to win is always an option. But I've noticed you've liked the defenseman these days for the points, and it's something that I've looked towards as well. But Dubois, there's definitely some great angles there for him, and it's a great number on that one. We're going to go to our next game as far as the Devils and Ducks are concerned. In this one, of course, everybody wants to fade the Ducks. Everybody wants to fade them as far as shots on goal, team total, puck lines, whatever it might be. I've told you guys before on the show, I have a friend that just every single game, he bets the puck line against the Ducks and the Blackhawks. And over the past 2 months, he's made some pretty good money, just continuously making those 2 same bets. We've got the Devils minus 315 tonight, with the Ducks being plus 255. And the puck line is minus 125 and the minus 1.5 for the Devils, total at 6.5, as we would expect in a game involving either of these teams. But Andy, as I talked about, I mean, if you're betting the team total over for a team against the Ducks, you're making money. If you're betting puck lines, and a lot of these options. But this is the thing. You kind of wonder, when will the Ducks have a good game? The problem is they only have good games against teams like the Sharks, and then they'll have a random upset victory over the Golden Knights. Then they'll lose 4 or 5 more games. But the Devils are a team people counted out. They said, no, their big winning streak was fluky. They go ahead and beat Carolina and the Rangers. So this is a game. I think there's some betting opportunities all over the place. What do you like here, Andy?
Well, actually, my my best bet is in this game, so I'll save that particular bet for the end of the show. But for those that bet hockey props, happy Jack Hughes Day, everybody. We get Jack Hughes back. All right, so we got to talk about him. He's been an absolute monster. They have his shots on goal at 4.5, which is incredible to see a line like that in the regular season. I mean, that line is like David Pastrnak in the playoffs type of line. You don't see those shots on goals that high, but you get it. He only had 3 shots on goal the last game, but before that, 7 straight games going over 4.5 shots. I mean, it's a beautiful matchup. There's not too many other teams you would rather have in front of you to go over shots on goal. So, yeah, I think it's worth a sprinkle. I can't really find anybody on the Ducks that I would like to take an over on. And, the betting against the Ducks has been pretty self-explanatory. I'll get to my best bet later. But, yeah, I'll roll with Jack Hughes over. I think he gets back to his winning ways on the over shots on goal prop.
He's a great team player, but he's not much of a passer. He's a shooter. If he gets the puck, he shoots it. Carm, what do you think here in this one?
I think Andy just stole my play. This is what I think. But
Sorry.
I like the Jack Hughes one too. I get it. It's 4.5. I actually loaded it up as a client play, and if you bought my NHL package yesterday, you actually got that play as a bonus play. I added it to it because I wasn't happy about my NHL card yesterday. But you look at Jack Hughes. Other than that game in Carolina, and again, Carolina is is one of those teams that can keep the opposing teams' shot totals low. Jack Hughes was at 3. Prior to that, 10, 9, 6, 6, 6, 6. Wow, that's the devil. 5, 4, and 7. It's unbelievable. This guy is consistently getting these shots on goal. I think he has 184 or something like that shots on goal. 41 games works out to about almost 4.6 shots per game he averages. So the number is where it should be on this. And again, it's the Ducks, guys. I've said it over and over again. I haven't rediscovered the wheel. I'm looking for players who normally get high shot numbers and taking them against the Anaheim Ducks, because this team is allowing 38 or 39 shots on goal per game. They are the worst in the NHL, followed by Columbus. So those are 2 teams you got to look at fading sometimes, with teams that are going to get a lot of pucks on net. New Jersey started this road trip with a big win in Carolina, winning that game 5-3. They've got the Ducks, the Sharks, the Kings, the Kraken on this road trip. This could be a good turning point for them. And then Andrew mentioned the Ducks, their last 11 losses, 10 of them have been by 2 or more goals. So they're losing, and they're losing by margin here. So I like the Jack Hughes one. And then you can look at New Jersey in regulation, or even the puck line in this one.
Yeah, I've got a best bet in this game near the end, which I'll get to. But it's one of those ones, guys, that there's going to be profit to be made. It's just a matter of finding it, making sure you're not going to go too high volume, because this is a game. There's lots of opportunities. But the Ducks, I mean, they just give up so many chances. It's unbelievable. Here's one thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. Only 3 people on the show, so I can bring this up. We got some time. I bet this a couple nights ago when the Oilers played the Ducks. I don't see why we don't just do it again here. First period team totals. I mean, Andy, you talked about first quarter team totals all the time, or first half team totals in the NFL. It's crazy. Like, okay, so usually if we get a big favorite on the money line, if you want to get that down to a good price, you take the puck line in the first period. So the Devils would be plus 105, right? For the puck line first period, minus a half goal. If you wanted to get the Devils over 1.5 team total goals in the first period, that's plus 160, guys, for them to score 2 goals in the opening frame. I mean, any thoughts on that? I feel like that's a new prop. I might start to explore a lot more.
I think you into you, Andy.
Thanks. The silence speaks of volumes. I have not experimented with team totals in the first period. I have no opinion on this one, but it just It's the same in every sport. The bad teams are going to figure out a way to play bad. It's so much easier for bad teams to play bad than it is for good teams to play good every single night. When you have a good team, they're going to have off nights. When you have a bad team with bad coaching and bad players, it's really easy for them to play bad night after night after night. So anytime you can fade bad teams in any sport, you're in a good spot.
Well, and Carm, you and I just always talk about trying to protect our bankrolls and not try and give out these minus 200s. Some people are very successful at it. That's not something that we do, but everybody has their own juice tolerance, I guess. I don't know if Matt Joseph's made that up, but I actually got that from him. I like when he says Matt the juice tolerance as far as the props are concerned and stuff like that. But plus 160 for a first period team total, I thought was pretty interesting. So I think something that's worth looking at, and you can get good prices on them.
And you know what I mean? And another one that I was looking at earlier that I wanted to mention, and as far as this game goes, before we go into what is our final game, is in a game like this, and it's assuming it goes as you think it's going to go, which is going to be a New Jersey win, which is going to be a big New Jersey win. You even start looking at this, some of the stuff that Andy looks at, like player point props, but like even goal scorer props. Every single Devil player is plus money, as they should be. But you look at someone like Nico Herscher. I'm seeing him at plus 160 at some places, plus 180 at one places. He has scored a goal in 6 of his last 7 games, and you have to assume the Devils are probably good for about 4 tonight, maybe 5. He could very easily get another goal, and you're getting plus money, plus 160. It's worth some pizza money on taking Nico Herscher. I'm not sure what DraftKings has up. I'm just having a quick look as we're talking, but Nico Herscher at DraftKings is plus 165. So slice of pizza. It's worth a shot, Andrew.
Carm, I don't know what kind of pizza you eat or where you order from, but that pizza is a lot more fancy than the pizza I buy because your pizza bets, they're pretty good sized bets, but you make money on those bets. So I get why your pizza has gradually gotten more and more fancy.
There is, and I don't want to go off track here because then our producer starts yelling in my ear, but I watched this thing on Netflix about the best pizza places in the world, and believe it or not, this guy went all over the world. The number 1 rated pizza that he tried is in Arizona at a place called Bianco Pizzeria. Chris Bianco, the owner. You look at these pizzas, they look absolutely phenomenal, but apparently there's something like a 3-hour wait to get a pizza at this place. I can't wait that long.
Wow. A place named after you. You got to go to Arizona. We'll be there. We'll be there in a couple months. Me, you, and Dan. We're going to the game, the big game together. We'll see if we can make it happen. Let's get into the Oilers and Sharks here. I think this is going to be a game, again, you can make some money on the props. Talk about streaks. Talk about goal scorers. Talk about props. Connor McDavid has scored a goal in 7 of his last 10 games. Forget about shots on goal or points. This guy scores a goal. It's unbelievable when you get these prices for a goal and you're thinking to yourself, why is that the price on that? But when they consistently do it, he's breaking records every year. And you can tell based on all the interviews you saw and before the season, McDavid has decided to be a little more selfish this year. He's still passing the puck around, but Draisaitl has said to him, hey, man, if we want to be good and you want to take that next step in your game, you got to start scoring more. And it's kind of crazy to think that he had this in him the whole time. He was just being more like unselfish and being nicer to his teammates. So McDavid to score a goal, 7 of his last 10 games here, but at minus 160 for the Oilers and at plus 135 for the Sharks. I got to say, guys, this honestly seems like a steal. I talk about juice tolerance, but Carm, I honestly would probably be interested in laying it with the Oilers here coming off that big win where they should have all kinds of confidence to take down another team here in California, probably in very similar fashion. We talked about it last time. You mentioned Timo Meier. There's not much to really write home about when it comes to the Sharks. It's 2, 3, 4 players that do all the scoring, and other than that, there's nothing really there. And I don't really trust their defensive core either. So this game could go over, but I think I'll just lay it with the Oilers and think they'll get the job done. What do you think here?
Yeah, Andrew, the thing about the Oilers is, and it's one of those teams, like if you think about that Seinfeld episode where he's dating that girl, she looks good. She looks good in the light, but she looks scary in the shade. That's the Edmonton Oilers in this game. You just don't know what you're going to get from them sometimes. You expect them to win, and then they lay an absolute egg. I'm going to literally auto default to the over here. Like I'm looking at some of the numbers. The Oilers 18-7, their last 25 to the over, 8-2, their last 10 on the road. San Jose 8-2, their last 10 to the over, and 12-3, their last 15 to the over at home. All the numbers lead me to take the over, and they've juiced it accordingly, which it should be. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this go to 7 at some point this afternoon or closer to game time. But Jack Campbell in goal, it looks like. Reimer looks like to be in goal as well, too. I'm going over 6.5. I'm not going to overthink this one. I just can't trust either team to play a defensive game here. So over 6.5 for me. Andy?
Well, yeah, Andrew set me up real nice. He was like, forget Connor McDavid shots on goal. My play is Connor McDavid shots on goal. I'm okay with it, even if Andrew's not. He only had 3 shots on goal last game, but before that, 7 games in a row, he's gone over his total. I also like Alexander Barbanoff to have a point. He's done this 5 games in a row. He's hit 15 out of 22 games. So you get a nice short-term streak and a good long-term streak. The Oilers give up 3.35 goals a game. Their last 7 road games, there have been 7 or more goals in 6 of those games. The last 2 road games, the totals have been 8 and 9, so they are giving up quite a few. If you believe that there's a game that's going to go over, you certainly can take advantage of the player props. I like Connor McDavid over. I like Barbanoff to have a point. And Andrew, we were talking about, you were talking about, having these plays that are minus 200 and these minus 180. And I was saying, a guy like Steven Stamkos, you look minus 180 to have a point. There's another guy tonight, Josh Morrissey. This can work, but you have to commit to it. If you're going to play these guys to get over their shots on goal or, to have a point, you can play them, but you can't pick and choose. You just have to play them every single night. Like Josh Morrissey to have a point, minus 185. And you think, oh, my God, no way. This guy's 26-7 hitting this in his last 33 games. So last 33 games, if you just blindly play it, you've won 26 of those. You're definitely more ahead. So if you are going to do something like that, you can't pick and choose your spots. You just have to commit to it and say, I think over 40 games, I'm going to come out ahead if I bet this guy over. So if that's the strategy when you're taking these really, really juiced player props. You got to commit to it every night. You can't say, well, I'm not going to play it this night because I think he's got a bad matchup. No, you just you play it and you take your wins, you take your loss, and you say long term, I'm going to be ahead. So someone like Morrissey tonight is one that you could keep riding this streak on. But for in this game, I really like that Barbanoff to have a point. I think that's a good one.
Nice.
McDavid second, but just barely behind. I like Barbanoff.
I like the way you're thinking there, and I got to admit, Andy, I did a bad job of doing that when I started betting props and releasing them because I was not betting them consistently. I was not keeping my eye on them consistently. And I remember I had people like DMing me and they're like, wow, man, this prop keeps hitting. Meanwhile, I stopped betting it like a week and a half ago and I had no idea what was even going on with it. I'm like, well, I'm happy you're making money with it at least. But yeah, by no means was I saying that Connor McDavid's shots isn't a great bet. I just meant, the goal prop itself is doing well just by him scoring goals. But yeah, I couldn't believe like 2 games ago, Connor McDavid hit his shots on goal prop in like, I think it was 25 seconds. So that'd be a pretty nice win. Instead of the bad beats section on our show, we could do a good beats or a good win, an easy win, because that's crazy. 20 seconds to get a victory there. But speaking of wins, there's only 3 games on board for today in the NHL, but a big board tomorrow. Carm has a couple look-ahead spots he's going to tell us about in a few minutes here, or a few seconds on the 6 and 60. So, Carm, get us ready for Saturday, man.
All right. We need to get, before we start that clock, we need to get some wins on this 6 and 60, or else this show is going to be sponsored by Cottonelle, because it is really in the crapper. But with that said, let's see if we can put together a nice six-pack for you boys and ladies out there. So, Dan, hit that clock. There's the clock. All right, Bruins and Leafs. Bruins suffered their first regulation loss of the season at home, only their fourth loss at home this season, and take on the Leafs team that are facing a little bit of regression, and Matthews might be out again. Let's take the Bruins. Dallas and Calgary, first meeting since that epic 7-game playoff series. That was a under bettor's dream. We're going to take under in this game. Florida and Vancouver. Florida returns home off a 4-game road trip. Vancouver scoring goals, but allowing even more. Let's take over 6.5 here. Washington and Philly. Flyers beat the Caps on Wednesday 5-3. Rapid revenge spot. Let's take the Caps at home. Chicago and Seattle. Hawks have won 3 in a row. Surprising. Even better, the Kraken 6. They're going to close out a 7-0 road trip with a win here in Chicago. Let's take the Seattle and Minnesota and Arizona. The Wild have won 8 of the last 10 at home. The Coyotes have lost 7 straight, losing each one by 2+. Minnesota puck line. That's your 6 and 60.
Great stuff there, Carm. With time to spare today, they're on the clock. Beat the clock. Some good plays there.
Let's hope this is not sponsored by Cottonelle next week. Let's hope it's not sponsored by Cottonelle.
There it is. No, I like those plays. You're going to make some money with those ones. And I'll tell you what, we talk about admitting when we're wrong about stuff, guys. It's always fun to celebrate victories as a crew here together on the show and a great client night. Well, my forecast for teams to fade, well, it didn't go as well as my teams to bet on for this week because I had the Kraken as my sell team on Monday, and they're a team that just can't stop winning. They beat the Boston Bruins last night. They're on this road trip that I don't get why they'd want to go home, guys. I mean, this Seattle Kraken team playing very, very well. We'll find out over the next few weeks if they're the real deal or not, but great stuff there from Carm, all kinds of look-ahead stuff. And just remember, guys, that all kinds of prices you see today on your sports books might not be there tomorrow. So if you want to bet some of these, get in early. Don't be too late to the party on those. Andy, it's going to be an awesome weekend. I mean, there's all kinds of sports going on. You and I are looking forward to UFC being back in action here, the first card of the new year. Obviously, NFL, we just had our prop show together. You have a 5% play going, but tell everybody at home what you have going on, and of course, your best bet for today's show.
Yeah, 5% NFL play is up. We've been just fantastic with the 17-8 in the regular season in NFL. So unbelievably happy with that winning percentage and the amount of profits come with it. UFC is back. 4% play is up. Andrew and myself do really well at UFC. Easily get both of ours and cash. I believe we both have 4% plays up there. So grab those or just grab a 3-day pass. For my best bet today, I'm going to take a look at the PGA Golf Sony Open. No, I'm just kidding, Carm. We're actually going to keep it. We're going to keep it to hockey here. So I'm going to really go out on a limb here and fade the Ducks. So shocking. But I'm going to fade them by going under 2.5 goals for their team total. They've gone under this total in 8 out of 10 games. The Devils have allowed exactly 3 goals in the last 2 games. That was to Carolina and to the Rangers. Those are top 11 scoring offenses this season. Anaheim, dead last in goals scored. They did play earlier this season, very early this season, but Anaheim only scored 2 goals in that game. Just going to keep fading the Ducks and their lack of offense. So give me the Ducks under 2.5 goals on their team total as my best bet.
Love it. Ducks team total under 2.5. Andy, happy to have you here on the show. Great to be working with you on a different sport like hockey. You're a man that works very hard and does a lot of different sports. So great stuff. Check out Andy over at Wager Talk. He has a 5% NFL play going this weekend. And if you've been betting his 5% plays this year, you've definitely made some money. And by this year, I don't mean 2023. I mean the season. Okay, guys, give me a break. All right. Carm, what do you think here for your weekend? What's going on? What do you have as far as wagers, NFL, college basketball? What's going on for you?
Yeah, we're only like 13 days into the year, but listen, you guys are doing so well in UFC. I might have to get into that. Is Hoist Gracie still fighting, or has he retired yet? The guy's like 90, I think.
If they asked him to fight, he would probably say yes.
The man who started it all right? Or the family that started it all. But a play plus props pack up in NHL today. No soccer this afternoon, but 5 plays across the props and teams totals market tonight in NHL. An EPL best bet 3-pack is also up for Saturday. 3 games I really like. These are the first 4% plays of the year. I've had a slow start to soccer this year. I after the World Cup break, kept them all at like 3% or so, but only won 5%. And that was a winner. And I got a 5% going tomorrow as well, too. And then, of course, NFL cards for Saturday and Sunday. So grab that 3-day all access, $59. I think that's the best deal. Instead of getting 1 play for $35, you're going to get about 5 packages for $59. I think that's a great deal. Now, as far as our show best bet, let's try and close it out with the winner. We got Alex Tuck yesterday. I'm going right to the Anaheim game. I think everyone's going to the Anaheim game. And I'm taking Nico Hischier over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 140. Another good spot. Against teams like Anaheim, Columbus, he gets a lot of shots on goal. They've only faced each other once this year, and Nico had 5 shots on goal earlier this season. He's going to go over that total of 2.5. Nico Hischier over 2.5. Hischier, if I pronounce it correctly, over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 140. Your show best bet. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all the comments you guys have, whether they're good, whether they're bad. We still appreciate them. We love doing this show, and we'll see you on Monday.
It's a blast. It's a great time. Let's try and close this out with a great week of best bets, Carm. The best bets have been really, really good on the show this week here on Puck Time, guys. And I appreciate Andy saying that about the UFC. Yes, we both do have 4% plays going. Maybe we'll try and get a little combo package going, as Andy mentioned that. I know we do that now at Wager Talk. But, yeah, both of us have 4% plays going in the UFC. I ended last year on a 12-5, 70% run in the UFC. So, try and build off that. And I have my first ever 5% NFL prop going this weekend for a super wild card weekend. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a really, really exciting weekend. But guys, we're sticking with the same game, except for I'm going to be that guy and actually make a bet on the Ducks. One of their players to actually do something good, Troy Terry, over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 110. Look, somebody has to shoot the puck for this team. And they have gotten absolutely embarrassed over their last few games. This is a pride game. You got to come out there and show you can play. And Troy Terry is a guy on his line that I'm not saying he doesn't pass the puck. I'm not saying he's a selfish player, but he is most certainly a shoot-first hockey player. He's out there on the power play as well, and I expect lots of chances for him tonight against a Devils team that might not give up the most shots, but they give up lots of chances around the net. We'll see if Terry can get me over 2.5 shots on goal. So that will do it, guys, for the show here for this Friday. Like Carm said, we appreciate all of you for tuning in, as always, and supporting us here. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. And a quick recap here. Andy Lang looking at the Anaheim Ducks team total under 2.5 goals. I have Troy Terry over 2.5 shots on goal from the Ducks. And Carmine Bianco with Nico Hischier over 2.5 shots on goal. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on Monday.
College football is over. The NFL is winding down. And as we turn our attention to the ice and hardwood until Sunday, January 22nd, we are slashing NBA, college basketball, and NHL season passes from $4.59 all the way down to $2.99 with no coupon needed. This special price locks in your favorite handicappers in the sport of your choice through the championship for pennies on the dollar versus buying daily packages. And since the price will remain $2.99 through midnight on January 22nd, the earlier you buy, the more days you get included at no additional cost. How much are you saving? College basketball comes to just $3.55 per day through March Madness, and the NBA and NHL discounts come out to just under $60 per month to lock in your favorite handicapper through the finals or Stanley Cup. Go to your favorite handicappers page at Wager Talk and or Sports Memo and lock in your sports through the championship for only $2.99 each. If you want to combine handicappers or multiple sports, email us and we can